What's good, Melanites? My name is GT.
I'm Kymmy Cocoa, a.k.a. Chocolate Girl Wonder.
And we are your hosts for Innovative Black Stations, connecting the dots. I mean the dots.
Connecting the dots? Did we change the name of the show?
Just for this episode.
Oh, okay. Connecting the dots.
So today, what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about Hoe Terminology. We're going to talk about why, who, and how hoes are winning. We're going to talk about, are we condemning sexism and excusing racism? And then Coco.
With Kymmy, we're going to talk about Amber Rose's annual slut walk. It's become an annual slut walk. She had she had her second one a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, she doing real good with that too. So we're gonna go ahead and put you on game about Hoe Terminology.
Okay.
So
you're gonna have to help me out.
So Hoe Terminology,
because they've changed it. Like back in the day, we used to call them skeezers.
We call them hoes, we call them thoughts, we call them eaters, we call them chews, we call them Jezebels, hood rats, alley cats. It's a whole bunch of different names for hoes now. But just to kind of put y'all on game about Hoe Terminology and just where all this stems from, it actually stems from hip hop. Believe it or not.
What does?
Hoes. Get offs.
Okay, what do you mean? Tell me.
It does. Music videos, video vixens, this whole side chick thing, ass shots, surgeries, all this, it's all from imagery. And the imagery is from hip hop. It's from hip hop. You have to agree with me on that we got to put people on game about that. And then not only from it going from hip hop, but reality TV.
Yeah, that just really promotes it. Reality TV just created a whole thing. Well, I guess that's what they call slut culture, Hoe Culture.
Right. And I mean, just to name a few videos, I mean, to go back is so far as Tupac and Digital Undergrounds, I Get Around. You got Nelly with his tip drill. They used to be on BET.
For me, it was definitely Uncle Luke in his videos. Those were the videos that
JT Money, Shake What Your Mama Gave You, Ludacris.
Oh yeah, Shake What Your Mama Gave You.
Poppin'. I mean, you can go a number of different ways where it stems from, but originally, if you look at the culture today and why hoes are so praised today, it stems from hip hop, the music industry.
Well, because hip hop is male dominated, so true. I think that misogyny has always been a big part and a big issue that was being discussed in hip hop, and that's why back in the day, Congress wanted to shut hip hop down. One of the reasons why was because it had become very misogynistic, and in a lot of songs, you know, women were being referred to as bitches and hoes, and you know, now it's like there's nobody there.
Accept that title.
I mean, some of them do, but I mean, I guess it's like, you know, there's really no balance anymore. There's nobody saying, you know, that you really shouldn't look at yourself like that.
Right.
So now,
I mean,
it's out of control.
It's just like with our culture, though. What you got to understand too, with our culture, we made it cool for women to want to call themselves hoes and bitches. As sad as that may sound, we made it cool. Just like we making it cool now for people to be drug addicts. Like we got songs like Molly Percocets and people taking Xanax, and like people not understanding like that's actually a form of you being a junkie just because it's not called crack or it's not heroin.
Yeah, because they have heroin in them.
And you still ODing on this stuff, like, and that's just the culture. I mean, it's sad, but that's the reality of it.
I mean, it is sad. It is a sad reality of it that, you know, it's gotten to the point now where, I mean, in our era, a lot of people talked about drugs, but they talked about selling drugs.
Right.
And now the people talk about being on the drugs. So
being a junkie.
Yeah. So, I don't know. You guys took it to a whole nother level. I don't know if it made it cool or if it's just that you started to accept it more.
I don't even think it's that they necessarily accepted it. I just think it's just a part of the culture. It's just like anything that happens in hip hop or rap, period, it becomes a trend. Once one person starts talking about it, then the next artist start talking about it, and the next artist started talking about it. And it's just like with the South, like our women have fat asses, our women have big titties, like, you know, they cornbread,
don't say that,
collard green eating ass women. God. You know what I'm saying? So it became a trend for us to have fat asses in our videos.
It became a trend for y'all to do nothing but talk about hoes and dancing and strippers.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you look at, like, my cousin was even telling me when he went to go see the Tupac movie, he said one thing that he pointed out about the Tupac movie was that back in the early 90s when the women were in the videos, like they had natural bodies, and he said he didn't like the fact that in the movie, like they had a lot of women with fat asses and stuff.
Well, because
like that.
most of the women that are in acting and stuff now, they feel like they have to modify their bodies.
You could have
to
found
fit.
somebody that fit that era, though. I mean, we still
Do you
like
guys really want to know about that era, or are you trying to like because
the women were naturally pretty? But what I'm saying is, if you look at the videos over time, it became cool to have a fat ass. It became cool to have big titties.
It really is not. It's
lips.
not cool. It's like you have to have that,
right, in order to succeed now. But the problem is like
that's
you got
because
all
of the men.
These 9-to-5 women, these ordinary women wanting to have ass shots and things now, and now you're seeing the dangers of it. You're seeing women dying from it and things of that nature. So I mean,
so they're dying to be sexy because in order for you to be successful in the business, if you want to be a model, if you want to be in these videos,
right.
if you want to do any of this stuff, it's like if you don't have this astronomical ass, you're not going to be accepted, even just in the regular club scene, because the strip culture has really taken over. I don't know,
even gotta have
trap music.
Ass. You can have just a perfectly proportioned ass. Like I told you, I just want to have a class on just the different types of asses, because there really is, but that's not what we're